Bomb Squad, what's up? Yee. Yeah, man. Hopefully everything is everything with everybody. Whoo. Here we go. Y'all hit that like button when you come in. Send us a wave. Let us know you're here. Right. Man, everything is test you whenever they can. Oh, y'all, we here on a Wednesday. What is it, September 17th, 2025. GV, what's happening? Yeah, it's been a while since you've been tuned in. So it's been a while since we've been live, but we still been dropping videos. So I appreciate you being here. Thank you for the like. And yeah, man, we're trying to get to a more regular schedule. We're trying to get back to it, but at the same time, like we keep working. We keep working. We're dropping videos. We've dropped several videos in the last week or so. And so we're always working, y'all. We're always working. Yo, MN Scout Dad, what's happening? Good to see you, MN Scout Dad. How's everything going, brother? I appreciate the support as always, Man, y'all see the title, man. Tonight we're gonna talk about a little bit of the roadie stuff. I was getting requests, both recent and in the past, to talk about roadie, and so we dropped a video about roadie, and got a lot of feedback, and so we're gonna break some of that stuff down tonight, and hopefully we get some questions answered, we get some discourse, and we'll see where we go from there. All right. GV said hoping to get back on the route soon. Yeah. So what's your situation? Are you a TCD, or you a bid driver, or what? What's happening? What's happening? There's a lot of changes going on at the company right now, as we all know. But for people who's not familiar, they might not know and don't see the day to day. But there's a lot of changes going on, a lot of moving around, a lot of reconstruction, a lot of closing, transfers, all types of stuff, man. It's crazy right now. But as with any industry, with any company, there's always going to be changes, and you got to pivot, you got to make moves, and you got to do what you got to do. That's just what it is. At my building in particular, it's a lot of moving around. But we'll talk about that here later on. Issues getting your DOT renewed. Okay, 1 year away from top pay. Okay, so what's up with your DOT? Because yeah, that could be a little tricky. That could be a little tricky. I know some folks that might be having issues or have had issues recently with renewing it. So yeah, that could be a little tricky. But you obviously need it. And so you just gotta do what you gotta do to get it, man. Do whatever you gotta do. And I'm sure you are, but you need that. You need that DOT, or else, of course, you can't drive. So 1 year away from top pay. Hey, shouts out to you. Shouts out to you. I know when I was close, probably a year from top pay, I was excited. I was excited. In that last year, it came so quick. It came so quick, and before you know it, I was at top pay, and immediately got like it's like maybe like a $9 raise, or like $8.50 raise, but it was good. It was good. It felt good. Felt like you accomplished something, or at least I felt like I accomplished something. And so, that's great. So if you're a year away, that year's gonna fly by. Y'all know these years fly by. These years, they fly by. Just keep showing up, and hopefully you get your DOT, man, because of course you want to drive. So that's why we're here, right? That's why we're here. Yeah, so tonight we're gonna talk about roadie. Let's go ahead and start the show, y'all, and we'll get the housekeeping out of the way. Breakdown Media, we up and we live.
Breakdown meeting.
We are live.
Breakdown meeting. Breakdown meeting.
What's up, Bomb Squad? It's a pleasure to be before you guys tonight on a Wednesday, mid-September. Hope y'all doing good. So everybody's watching this video, okay? So hopefully, you watched the video on the channel about Roadie. So this not our first video about Roadie, you know. I broke it down to a small degree, but we got a lot of feedback on the channel, on the video. And so, we're gonna talk about some of that. You know what I mean? And so what we do here at Breakdown Media, like we talk about the issues, we talk about stuff, we joke around sometimes. But at the same time, like we try to do a deeper understanding on what's going on certain topics, not just the surface level. Now we can do surface level and we do surface level sometimes, but some other times it takes a deeper dive to understand what's really going on. And so that's what we're going to do because, everybody could say, oh, well, I feel like this. I feel like that. I don't think this is right. I don't think that is right. And, everybody's going to have their opinion about everything. We get it, you know? But at the same time, we can complain. We could say stuff surface level. Yeah, I feel this, feel that. Okay, so let's dig a little deeper on why these things are happening and maybe we can kind of get some resolve or some clearer understanding. Okay, so that's what we're going to try to do tonight. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. We haven't been going live as frequent lately, but we still been dropping videos. We still been trying to give you the information and keep you guys engaged. And I thank you guys for all the support and thanks for being here. If you are here, if you're here, hit the like button. If you're watching this on a replay, hit the like button as well and share with somebody who might need the information. Okay. All right, man. So look, at our building here in Houston, we having a lot of moving parts. A lot of moving parts. One of our biggest, if not the biggest facility in the city, it got renovated. Well, one side is getting renovated, the other side got built. And so a lot of routes that's in my building is getting moved to that other building. And so there's a lot of stuff going on in the next 2 or 3 weeks. It's going to be a lot of people moving facilities, moving routes, jumping on different routes, all sorts of stuff. But it's transition period. It's a lot of emotions flying, it's a lot of people. Their day to day is going to look different because obviously it might be going to a different facility, traffic situations, getting adjusted to new areas, new routes, new personnel, new members of management, new coworkers. All of that stuff happens and we get it. So it's not on top of the regular stress that we're going to have on a day-to-day basis. We all know that, right? You start adding to it and it's more stress, more people factored in, and it's a recipe for a more difficult environment, you know what I mean, on top of the regular everyday, because you still got to get your job done. You still got to do the job. You still got to do it efficiently as possible. But you have all these other factors now with moving around, new managers, new supervisors, new areas to work in, new buildings, old buildings, traffic. When you didn't used to have to drive through traffic in the morning, getting home at a different time, it's stressful. We get it. But I tell everybody just hang in there because a transition period is just a period, right? You eventually get over it, but try not to let it overwhelm you because it can. It can. And at the same time, you have we already, we kind of went through the buyouts with the full-time drivers taking buyouts. And, for the most part, that stuff is kind of died down for now. Well, until next year, probably. But now, as you guys know, a lot of the managers and supervisors are being offered buyouts as well. And some are even volunteering to take buyouts if they want to do something else or they want to retire early and stuff like that. And so that's happening at the same time. So a lot of these metropolitan areas in the city and around the country are going through transition periods with personnel, with facilities, with job cuts, with layoffs, buyouts. You got all types of stuff going on. You got all types of stuff going on. So it's stressful. So y'all just hang in there. If you being affected by any of this stuff, just hang in there because it's just a period. And if you're trying to drive, if you're working inside and you're trying to drive, just hang in there. And depending on where you at, you might be able to drive soon. It might not be soon. Then again, it might not be nowhere near, depending on where you at. So for everybody, y'all just hang in there. Y'all just hang in there. All right. Marcus Smith, shouts out to you. I see you in service, big dog. Bomb Squad, what up, Marcus Smith? I appreciate the support, bro. I appreciate the support. Just clocked out. Okay, Marcus Smith, you in Chicago, right? If I remember right. You in Chi-Town? Um, yeah, so we're in the same time zone, I think. It's good to see you, brother. It's good to see you. All right, so let's get some housekeeping out of the way before we get started. All right. The videos on the channel, like I said, we haven't been going live as frequent. However, we have videos for you guys. So if you haven't checked out those videos, even got some shorts in there too. Check those out. Let me know what you think. Give me a like, shoot a comment, or share it with somebody who you think could use the information, okay? New collections, Bricked Media, all right? So brickedoutLimited.com or brickedoutmedia.com, we have a fall collection. It's about to drop, okay? So those images are going to be up on the website pretty soon, probably in the next week or so, okay? So you'll be able to see the fall collection and you'll be able to order. I don't think we're going to do pre-orders. We're not going to drop it until we actually ready to ship out, okay? So let me know, brickedoutLimited.com, brickedoutmedia.com. Check out that fall selection. I will let you guys know. I'm probably going to do a video or we'll go live. I'll let you guys know when it's available and we will get it cracking, okay? Also, I've had a couple calls over the last few weeks, okay? And so these are individuals that working inside, and in the past they wanted advice on what they should do, building, going through changes. They working inside, working part-time, however they want to drive. And so I talk with these folks. I give them advice as much as I can give them, right? Depending on the situation, because everybody's situation is different and every region is different. Every facility is different. And so they reach out to me. We schedule a call. We talk it out. So recently, I had one individual did a follow-up call, and he let me know, like, hey, I'm about to go to Intergrad in a few weeks. So, hey, okay. Well, we get on the call for an hour. We talk it out. I prepare him for what Intergrad is going to look like and what he needs to study for and all of that stuff. Just kind of prepare him, okay? So if you're in that same situation where you might be going to Intergrad, because I know they have some classes here going on in about 2 weeks, okay? Not sure what city, but if you're working inside, you're about to go to Intergrad or you're being prepared to go to Intergrad, shoot me an email, brickedoutEveryday@gmail.com. I might be able to help you out because no one wants to go to Intergrad and fail. No one wants to go to Intergrad and get DQ and then you got to try again months down the line, okay? Because a lot of these opportunities are very, very limited. And so if you don't make it through this time or the first time, or even if it's your second time, we don't really know when you might have the opportunity again. Like I said, it depends on where you at. So send me an email, brickedoutEveryday@gmail.com, and we can set something up. All right. All right. Thank y'all for the likes. We appreciate it. And like I said, we'll let y'all know about that fall collection. It's rather dapper, so we'll let you guys know. Thank y'all for the likes. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Now, what everybody want to talk about, and it's not even everybody. It's not even everybody because I speak with drivers or even people I work with, and I'm gonna say this: half of the people don't even care. Half of the people don't care. It might even be a little more than half. Half of the people don't care. But you have a subset of individuals who are really, really concerned. And I think it's valid. I think it's valid. It's valid concern. I don't have a problem with it. Everybody gonna make things important that they deem as important. I get it. But man, not everybody's concerned. But for the people that's concerned, I mean, I even seen the word fear. And I'm not sure about fear, but if it makes you fearful, I can't say that it's not because that's you as an individual, okay? I'm not fearful of it, but for some people, they might be fearful of it. So Roadie, Roadie XD in 2021, UPS bought them out. Okay, so they were specializing in larger deliveries. They're offering same day service, stuff like that. They might go over to Home Depot, and pick up, I don't know, a large item, maybe like a saw or something, or maybe like a cabinet, something like that. In the region, you want same day delivery, they have Roadie go pick it up, Roadie go deliver it, you know. We've talked about this in the past, and I even did a review video on a roadie driver, making pickups and making deliveries. And you could go check that out on the channel. I'm not sure what money was, but we did a review video on that driver's roadie delivery, for the day. He's a roadie driver, roadie XD driver, really good guy. So go check that video out. However, but if you haven't heard about what roadie is in 2023, UPS bought him out. They bought him out in 2023. And so roadies, like, they try to specialize, and we're gonna pull it up right here, and we're gonna give you guys the information so that way, if you hear from somebody else, it may or may not be true. It's cool. I get it. Some people might not know, and that's cool. But that's why you hear Brick Dot Media. We try to give the valid and accurate information to let you guys know what's going on. Okay. All right. So before the acquisition, right? Before 2023, well, before 2021, when UPS bought them out, okay, they were offering mainly the same day delivery and local deliveries, okay. It put them in a position to compete with last mile deliveries. And so last mile deliveries obviously is from the last stop to the last stop, which will be the destination, okay. So they specialize in big and bulky items. And so a lot of the big and bulky items that the large couriers like UPS and FedEx might not want to deal with, and or the same day large and bulky items that UPS and FedEx are not even able to service because it's a same day delivery. UPS doesn't offer that. So that's pretty much what they specialized in before the acquisition, okay? So anything that pretty much was urgent, like, hey, I need it today, man. I'm going to get online right now at 10 a.m. on a Saturday, and I need my item today. And, they will use, a roadie will be called and used in those situations, okay? Now, the irregular shipments, and I know, look, I have coworkers, and look, I complain about them sometimes too. Like, having the furniture, having the dresser drawers, the bed frames, the big and bulky stuff. And, UPS drivers, we complain about that stuff. Like, oh man, somebody moving on us. Oh man, somebody ordering all of this big stuff. And like, we're not a moving company. And look, I understand all of that. And so, that's stuff that we might not see as much because it was going to like other places like Roadie and other gig drivers and other networks because, you know, is more feasible in those types of networks and not on a UPS truck. Okay. So, we complain about it. And so a lot of that stuff we don't even see. And so we see a lot of the stuff, but a lot of it we don't even see. And so that pretty much was the gist of the company before the acquisition, right? UPS bought them out in 2021. That's when COVID was, trying to die down a little bit. And so they seen the opportunity and they took the opportunity. And this is not my opinion, okay? This is not my opinion. This is one of the reasons why they bought Roadie is because they seen as if like, okay, well, we're not in the same day market. We're not in the same day delivery market. So looking at Roadie, it's like, okay, well, let's go ahead and buy this company. I mean, it's controversial, but let's go ahead and buy this company and we can dip our toes, our feet into the same day delivery market. So I know that's not the only reason, but I'm sure that was one of the bigger reasons. Okay. Now, you still have your Amazons, you still have Walmart. They deliver a lot of their own stuff, and Target as well. They deliver a lot of their own stuff, and they also use gig workers like Roadie, like On Track, like Uni to deliver their stuff, whether it's the same day, next day, maybe even 2 day shipping. They use a lot of these small companies. Now I get supplements delivered to my house, and I've spoke about this on a previous video. I get supplements to my house, just over the years, and it used to be a lot of the deliveries used to be UPS or FedEx or maybe even USPS. And so I have noticed over year and a half, maybe even 2 years, the same companies I buy from is no longer UPS. It's no longer shipped by FedEx. It's no longer. It might come like DHL, like the slow snail mail, DHL. Then it converts to USPS and stuff like that. I'm sure y'all done seen that before. But I get a lot of stuff shipped like that, and let's say it's coming from Dallas area, it might get shipped on track, Uni, and you'll have somebody in their own personal car. They'll come up to your house, they deliver it, they'll take the picture, and before you know it, you get home and like, oh man, what is this shipped by? And you look at, it's a label you don't recognize, and you're like, okay, well, I see what this is. It's different companies. They're out there and they're taking a lot of the work. And I'm not saying they're obviously out there taking the work, but retailers are getting creative and they're getting economical with their spending, and they're using smaller companies at better rates or more competitive rates than say like a UPS or FedEx, and they're trying to save money. And these smaller companies, they're able to do these things for lower rates, and it's less people handling these packages. And so I talked about that on the video as far as like these packages and items not having to go through different hubs in different cities. If they could get it locally and they can get a courier to come pick it up and deliver it locally, it's handled by less people, it's less likely to get damaged, it's less likely to get just messed up or lost or misloaded and stuff like that. And so like that's what they're doing. So I'm not mad at the retailers. I'm not mad at the large retailers. They are doing what large companies do. Well, even small companies going to cut. And so I understand the play. Now, what has to happen is, and like I said this on a previous video, what has to happen is UPS has to get creative. Even FedEx has to get creative because both volumes are down year over year. That's no secret. If you don't know that, well, I mean, I guess I'm telling you right now, but that's what's happening. The volume is down. These routes, when I go into work right now, like I walk the line, I'm looking at these trucks, and I'm like, yo, like, even on heavy days, even on Wednesdays and Thursdays, I'm looking and I'm like, man, these trucks don't look nothing like they used to look, say, 2, 3 years ago. And I'm like, and they cut routes. And so it's not as many routes on the road right now on your lighter days, especially than let's say 2, 3 years ago. And so with the company cutting routes and you still looking, it's like, man, volume is still down. It's like these trucks still look anemic, right? To a certain degree. You see that, you're just like, man, like I see it, you know? And like I was telling one of my coworkers today, like I would go out with 250, maybe 260, 275 pieces. on a heavier day. And sometimes I have a couple customers that have they're heavy for that day. I'll get closer to 300 pieces. But like now, man, I'm just like a regular day for me is like, 210 pieces, 215 pieces, a decent amount of stops. But you can tell if you just paid attention over the last few years, you can tell the volume levels are down. And this is, like I say, this is not my opinion. This is facts. Okay. And so that's what's happening. On top of with the economy the way it is, if people are spending less, you're obviously going to have less deliveries across the board. Then if you have all these other little players that's being inserted into the game and it's kind of getting spread out amongst more companies, it just makes sense. And we'll make a video about FedEx. I mean, FedEx is laying off. They shrinking the business. They trying to be more efficient, increase profits. We get it. You know, they laying off managers. They trying to consolidate Express with Ground, which I'm pretty sure they're doing that right now. And so it's the same thing across the board. And so it's a competition. And when we talk about competition, it was brought up to me about the whole Roadie thing. Okay. And there's a subset of drivers that are upset. They reached out to me and say, look, man, hey, Article 1, hey, this is a violation of Article 1. I was like, okay. The contract is a violation of Article 1. Look, I get it. I get it. But my response to that person are those people that say, hey, they're in violation. Hey, look at this. They're in violation. I said, okay, well, if they're in violation, if UPS is in violation of acquiring Roadie in 2021 and a new contract was ratified in 2023, if they're in violation of Article 1 of the contract, then what is the consequences UPS by owning Roadie? I mean, we could sit up here and say right now, today, tomorrow, next week, hey, you're in violation, right?
Break that meeting.
And well, what has to happen then? Because like I said earlier, like we can sit up here and be upset and be mad and put curse words online and be all up in arms, walk into work, with smoke coming out of our ears and be like, man, what's going on? But like, so what to be done about it? So what has to be done about it? So I'm all about solutions. And if they're in violation, which, many say that they are, okay, I mean, it's written, it's agreed upon. Now what? So if it's agreed, then now what? Like, because we could stay surface level and be mad about stuff, we could do that. But at the same time, like, what we doing after that? Because my question would be, and this is my question, we're gonna get to that in a minute. Hey, shouts out to the bomb squad. We appreciate it. Buddy Franco, was good? Was good, my guy? Was good? I appreciate the support, big dog. All right, so Buddy said last 3 days, 42,000 pieces in the whole hub. That's heavy. But he also said there's no violation. Okay. All right, buddy. Shouts out to you. All right. Shouts out to you.
Break that meeting.
So look, man, hold on. I'm about to ban Marcus Smith. I'm not trying to do that. Sorry, Marcus Smith. Sorry. Look, I'm glad y'all got the 42,000 pieces. Like, absolutely. And we get in our hub, we get our flashes of like, man, what's going on, man? It's boxes everywhere. Then you get, times where it kind of slows down a little bit. But I'm just bringing up the concerns. And that's why we're addressing this tonight because I got comments, I got messages on the Roadie video, and you know, people attacking me, which you know what, I'm cool with it. Like I'm cool with it. And that's why we came here to have a conversation because um like don't be upset at me because I'm not UPS. I spoke on it, I made a video. Y'all bringing up Article 1. Okay, cool. So let's just say hypothetically, we'll play the hypothetical scenario. Let's say hypothetically it is a violation. Okay? So we establish, all right, hypothetically that it is a violation. And like I said before, now what? Because it does seem that there's times where the contract is violated and nothing is done. And stuff might be done behind the scenes, but it's never really brought to the light. And so I would ask again, okay, now what? And what happens after that? If it is deemed a violation, I would also ask, and this is me, you know what? Like you can go to any news channel. You can even find some YouTubers or whatever who don't even work for UPS, who given, they took some business classes in college. That's cool. You know what I mean? You might go to those channels and be like, oh man, they talking about UPS and economics and all of that stuff. That's cool. But at the same time, they don't see it. We do. But here at Brick Dot Media, I like to get into the weeds. I would want to know why. And so my question would be to UPS, or not even to UPS, but I would say, well, why did they buy Roadie in the first place? I'm not saying they shouldn't have, but instead of being upset and mad that it might be a violation of Article 1, which, it might be, but, some people say it's not. I don't know. All I'm saying is that hypothetically, if it was a violation, my next question is why UPS bought it in the first place? Because when it comes to competition, y'all know about this. When it comes to competition, and when it comes to a monopoly in the United States of America, y'all see it. Big companies be trying to merge and they get shot down by the government, right? And it's like, well, nah, y'all gonna be too big. So a lot of times, well, in fact, most times, businesses might buy out like a smaller competitor in order to be more strong. So if you have a number one buys out a number 5 or 6, right? They can try to keep their dominance over the number 2 and 3. Or if you're a number 2 and you buy out or you merge with the number 5 or the number 6 in order to push to give the number 1 more competition, that happens all the time. Now, what they won't let happen is obviously a number 1 and 2 or even a 1 and 3 merge together and then just be a powerhouse. But it happens all the time. Now, I know most scenarios don't have labor contracts. I get it. It's rare. It's rare to have a labor contract. So this is different. I get it. I'm just saying the reason why they bought it in the first place. And I got a message saying, well, they bought a competitor. If you the big dog, if you big dog on the block, right? And you buy out the little puppies on the block, or maybe 2 puppies on the block, you know, like now you got some puppies, but you still the big dog. And so it might make you a bigger dog. I'm just using animal analogies, nothing big, but I'm just saying, I don't see, and this is just me personally, it's my opinion. I don't see it being a problem because it's a smaller competitor. Now, I have another question. This other question is like, well, if UPS wanted to buy FedEx, and I know it will probably never happen. But let's just say they say, hey, we got the money to do it. We want to knock out the number two. Is anybody going to have a problem with that? Question. Is anybody going to have a problem with that? Just wondering, because you will maintain dominance for sure. There is no number three in that manner, right? There is no number three. It's you and nobody else, pretty much. If you swallow FedEx, well, there'll be outrage if UPS bought FedEx. I'm just asking a question. I don't know. Because what happens is, regardless whether it's in a violation of the contract or not, will it be the same outrage as it is now? And I'm not saying there's a lot of outrage. I'm just speaking on the few comments and messages I got on the Roadie video. See, and so we report on stuff, but we got to dive a little deeper and see, hey, what does this mean and why? All right. Nick Martin, shouts out to you. What up, Nick Martin? Man, where you been, big dog? You know what I'm saying? Man, how you living, bro? How you living? You on vacation again? Are you gonna use all your 6 and 7 weeks? The last two times we were live, Nick was on vacation. But shouts out to Nick, man. Thanks for the support, brother. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Yo, that's all I'm saying, y'all. That's all I'm saying. You hurting? I know you're not hurt. Okay, you're hurting. You're not hurt, are you? Are you injured? Or are you just hurting? There's a difference, right? There's a difference. Man, it feels good to be back on the live, y'all. Okay, first week in November is your last one. Yeah, that's a good week to take, man. Yeah, I have one more too. Mine is my last one is what? October, first week of October. Or maybe second week of October. Yeah, it's coming up here in a couple weeks. In a couple weeks. Yeah, so I don't know, like this roadie thing, man, and it's not all negative either. It's not all negative. There's a lot of positivity, man, which I like positivity, but I don't shy away from the negativity. Now, I don't engage it. I just like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. Let's try to figure some stuff out. But I'm not afraid of anything. But whatever happens, I mean, we're gonna see what happens. But me personally, I don't think it's a big deal. Now, I was also ran this scenario. And this person said that, hey, well, what happened in 2028 when there's a new contract negotiations? I said, okay, all right, I follow you. So what would happen in 2028 with a new contract, if in fact they just, they push us out and be like, well, we're going to wait. If y'all want to strike, y'all can go ahead and strike. And we're going to just use these other roadie people over here, which, look, I done seen the roadie people. Hey, shouts out to them. I'm not throwing shade. I done seen them. Yo, hey, we did a video on them, but hey, y'all, go ahead. I don't think it could happen, but, So the scenario was presented. I say, oh, well, whatever happens in 28 is going to happen in 28. You know what I mean? Like I'm not worried about that. Me personally, I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm not worried about that. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. We can't make UPS do anything. UPS and Team says they have an agreement. I get it. If the agreement gets violated by, whatever reason, then they got to deal with each other. I mean, I see drivers violate the contract every day. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. I see management violate the contract every day. Y'all see it too. And so what's the consequences? Like if we just violating the contract, and I'm not saying the Article 1 stuff is in violation when it comes to Roadie, but I mean, if we talking about the contract violations, I mean, that man, that's flying everywhere. Everybody's violating except for me. No, I'm joking. But I'm just saying, like seriously, like, so where do we draw the line? Right? Where do we draw the line? Yo, shouts out to the bomb squad. Man, Brian Smith, what's happening? Man. Man, I know like three Brian Smiths, man. I know like three of them. Maybe four. Maybe four. Shouts out to Nick. Nick says anterior pelvic tilt, I think, since Sunday. He was sitting around too long watching football. Yeah, man, football season is back, y'all. Football season is back. Bad posture all weekend, man. Hey, Nick, during the football games, man, do you stand up and jump around or do you just sit the whole time? Man, look, hey, make sure you're feeling better for your vacation, man, because, well, that's November, so you got a little time to recoup, but you know what I'm saying? You can't be having the bad posture weekends back to back to back to back to back, or else November you're going to be Lysol, what's up? Shouts out to you. It's my first time seeing you here. Brian Smith. Like I said, I know about three Brian Smith. I work with a Brian Smith. I'm not sure if this is the Brian Smith I work with. But either way, shouts out to the Bomb Squad, man. Shouts out to the Bomb Squad. We have we have a great group here, and like I say, I always tell you guys, I don't take it for granted. Because man, we was like when we started this channel in 2023, we was like, okay, well, let's post a video or two and I don't know, we'll see what happens. I wouldn't have never thought that the Bomb Squad will become the Bomb Squad as the Bomb Squad has become the Bomb Squad, right? So I thank all you guys for being here. And, to Lysol, all right? My first time seeing you here, Lysol. Thanks for joining, all right? But look, to you, speaking the truth, I don't know if it's the truth, but logically, it just makes sense to me. And so, like I said, y'all could go anywhere. And of course, we all have our liberties to watch whatever we want to watch and consume whatever we want to consume. I get it. We all have that right. But at the same time, are we going to stay surface level or are we going to dive a little deeper? Because if y'all want to stay surface level, and that's cool, like that's your prerogative. There's other places for that, and I get it. There's water cooler talk and all that stuff. You can go anywhere. But at the same time, you want to get a deeper dive on stuff. If we trying to give y'all value, and if we don't have any value to give you, then you're not going to see me, right? So when we're here, we're trying to offer value. So I'm just saying a deeper dive to ask the questions. Well, why this is happening? Why that's happening? Well, who authorized that? And why is this person acting like this, right? So I feel like I owe it to you guys, to give you a more deep analysis on what's going on, not just like, oh, I'm mad because of, A, B, C, and D. Okay, and what? Well, shoot, I don't know. I'm just mad. What is that, right? So look, thank y'all for being here, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So Lysol say I'm out of local 554, a little town in Nebraska. Oh, you in Nebraska too? Shouts out to you, Lysol. Oh, watch you all the time. Look, man. Look, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, y'all just don't know how, like I don't really know, you know, who watched the videos. I don't always know who's on the live, but just know that, ahead of time or after the time, look, I appreciate y'all because like I don't be knowing. I just know, we try to work hard and we try to provide value and that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? That's pretty much it. So hey, thank you for watching and thank you for if you share it with somebody, cool. I appreciate that too. And if you don't, I'm cool with that too. But yeah, thanks for being here, man. Buddy Franco, shouts out to you, man. You know, I be seeing you on TikTok. I see your TikTok working out, man. All right. So look, this week, y'all, we got a busy weekend coming up, but we're gonna try to get back to you guys before the weekend. We've got a busy weekend. So we have the fall collection coming out. Like I said, I will let you guys know when that's about to drop. We probably won't do pre-order, but then again, we might have to do pre-orders. Okay. So it's the same colors plus a couple more colors, especially for the hoodies. And we have a variation of our design, which is fresh, it's fall like, and we're gonna get it popping. Okay. So look, we have a video dropping probably like in 2 hours. I gotta finish uploading it. So so basically just giving you a rundown. I got pulled over the other day, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I got pulled over the other day. So I did not go to jail. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't gotta worry about that. Um, but y'all see on the video. I'll let y'all know what happened on the video. But that video is dropping tonight. And so we might be done with the roadie stuff for now, unless I get a request, a further request. We'll we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But what's happening is, and I told this to a coworker here earlier this week. I have a lot of videos, and I'm kind of getting backed up on releasing those videos. So I have them in the queue, and as soon as I get them ready, I'm dropping them. So if y'all don't see me on a live, I'm still working, right? Right. So I'm trying to get caught up, and you'll see it on the channel. If y'all tune in, you'll see it. But yeah, shouts out to Lysol, shouts out to Brian Smith, shouts out to Nick Martin, Buddy Franco, shouts out to you, man. I appreciate y'all, and we'll see y'all in the next one. Breakdown Media, y'all. Breakdown Media, yeah.
Break that
Let's
meeting.
go. We out.